In this video, I'm going to look at this kind of secret survival kit that I keep in my wallet. Now, I used to keep a couple of different pouches, one for the kind of cards and a couple of tools, and then another pouch for other tools, just kind of too bulky and too many things. So in this version, I've got one super minimal pouch that contains the cards and this secret survival kit, and I'm going to look at all the things inside it in this video. I've been doing these little short runs, and one thing I hate about this kind of thing is the barrier of kind of having to change into kind of different clothes and sort your stuff, and you're carrying stuff in your pockets, take it all out, all of that stuff. So I've got this pocket carry kit, the augmentation stuff, which is another video in this pocket, and this wallet in this pocket, and it's all small enough and stable enough to just stay in my pockets the whole time, basically. It's right here, it's no problem. I just go for a run, no trouble just keeping all this stuff in my pockets. It doesn't start rattling about or shaking about, and I don't feel at all that it's going to jump out of my pockets either. Let's take a look at the pouch itself first. Now, this is interesting because it's taken me a while to arrive at this. I've actually tried all kinds of different things, including these elastic woven organizers, metal tins, as well as the kind of fabric pouches. This one is made by an eBay seller called Wild Sky Gear, and it's made of this material called Dyneema, which is super thin and super strong and super light, which is absolutely fantastic. It doesn't add any bulk overall to this at all. And this one is exactly the right size, and the fact that it's sort of fairly floppy overall means it sort of conforms quite nicely to both your pocket shape and the things inside it.
If you're new to this channel, I make films on design, usability and workflow, which are all things I'm passionate about in my day job as well, which is working on Setseed CMS. Setseed is a white label CMS platform for web design agencies and helps them build better websites faster. I'll link to that in the description so you can take a look.
So I'm just going to go through everything in this pouch now one at a time, and you can kind of see how it is all packed in here. And that's kind of a key point here, like everything in here, you can't access it all super fast. Obviously the things you're carrying here are much more about actually having them than not having them. It's not really about how fast you can get at the items in here. I've kind of thought about the role of the items in here, and that all fits that philosophy, as opposed to the items that I carry in my right pocket, which are these augmentation roll items, and that is absolutely critical that they're all super fast to access. So the first thing just inside the zip here is a Sharpie pen. Super useful, obviously, to have a Sharpie that kind of writes on pretty much anything in a good thick line as well. So very handy just for kind of labeling stuff, or obviously just writing messages. Just a generally useful thing. I used to carry the Space Pen as well as one of these, and that's just obviously a little bit overkill, considering that this thing will pretty much write in anywhere where a Space Pen would. So the next thing we've got, and this is just unbelievable that these actually fit inside a tiny wallet like this, the Knipex pliers, the Tiny Cobra XS. Fantastic, useful tool. And a lot of people say you shouldn't use these for nuts, but I kind of one of the most common uses I have for these is just tightening nuts that are loose, and super handy that, of course, I've got a screwdriver kit, which I'll look at again, but because it's not part of a single multi-tool, you can grip nuts with this while using a screwdriver to hold the head on the other end at the same time. It's adjustable, so it can go from really quite big right down to tiny little dinky ones, and of course it's actually useful just for grabbing and pulling and prying and stuff as well. So it ticks both boxes in a way that an adjustable wrench just wouldn't. And this cutout in the end here is obviously absolutely designed for grabbing nuts. So a lot of people say you shouldn't use these for that purpose, but actually they do lock on perfectly. They don't round off the nut at all because of this hex cutout that fits and locks exactly. When you get the width right, it locks exactly as it should, and you can really put a lot of pressure on a nut with this, and they kind of self-tighten as a result of this clever shape. Now, when they are in the wallet here, there's a little space between the handles. There's kind of a void. So I thought, actually, what could you fit in there that would add to the usefulness of this kit? So I've got these three sockets. It's an 8 and a 9 and a 10mm socket. So in my other pocket, I keep this bit driver kit, and one of the bits on here is this 1/4 inch drive bit. So you can take that out, pop that on there, and then you've got actual sockets just in a kit that you keep in your pocket, and I think that is just super cool. I don't always carry these. I sort of flip-flop between carrying them and not, 'cause they add a little bit of weight and a little bit of bulk to the pouch, but it's just amazing to think that this in one pocket and the pouch in the other with these in, and you've got access to that is just fantastic. So now all of that is out of the way, we've got easy access to these little items. So we've got some zip ties just stuffed in here. Obviously super handy to have zip ties on you. You never know when you're going to need those. Just a brilliant thing just to chuck in here. No weight penalty at all, and no bulk penalty either, really. And then we're down to the tick remover. It's really handy when you're out and about to have a tick remover. Now, obviously, this is the kind of thing that you don't need super fast access to when it happens. It's not like there's sort of a real sense of urgency, but obviously you want to get the tick off kind of before you go home, maybe. I have to take out like 2 things before I can get to it. And here it is. Fantastic, just
really useful thing. Obviously super light, takes up no space in the pouch at all. Just a great thing to chuck in again, kind of for this first aid role.
So the next thing we've got is a glue stick. Now obviously this is used with the Zippo, which is in my other pocket, for any kind of gluing task where you might want to fix something where hot glue would be particularly useful. Doesn't get a lot of use. Obviously once you've burnt off the end of one, you might want to just replace it with a fresh one. But again, hardly any weight penalty and hardly any bulk. So it's kind of, why wouldn't you carry this? The next thing in here is some duct tape. Again, one of these things that has kind of unlimited uses and super handy to have on you. You could kind of just use it for sticking a note to someone's car or anything like that. Just obviously dead handy again for kind of fixing tasks as well. And again, no weight and no bulk penalty, so it's very easy to fit in this pouch. So now we're just left with basically the flat thing. So I'll just take all of these out at once. And that's an empty pouch. So I've got my driving license here. Now I actually put this tape on just for the purposes of this video, but actually I'm going to leave it on there because you never know when you might need a little bit of insulating tape, and this tape will come off this without leaving a mark, unlike duct tape. So the duct tape is just rolled around itself in that little piece, but this is actually stuck onto here, but actually quite a useful thing just to leave on there. And now I've got a little bit of paper, which obviously, when you use it, you just got to remember to replace it. It's just literally just a piece of paper folded up and cut to this kind of size that will fit within the profile of the card here. So with that and the Sharpie, you can leave a message for anyone, and with your tape you can stick that to anything. So again, very versatile. You never know when you might need something like that. Plasters, obviously, along with the alcohol wipes.
I think one of the most useful things I've got in this wallet kit is these alcohol wipes. They're just so handy. My kid here just fell over in some sheep poo and he wanted to wipe himself up with that, so it's no problem. It's just a really good way of just cleaning yourself up if something happens like that. Also great for any kind of first aid situation as well. And of course I've got plasters in this kit as well. In fact, just in the process of making this video, there have been 2 situations where I've genuinely needed to use these alcohol wipes. There was a cut on this same kid's arm and it just started bleeding. It was an old cut, it started bleeding. I thought, hang on, just wait till we get there. If it was in the car, wait till we get there. We can use this alcohol wipe to clean it up.
So basic first aid, especially if you've got kids, basic first aid kind of boxes ticked with by carrying these 2 things. Glasses cloth cleaner or cloth for any other purpose, super handy. Again, I've just cut this down to the size of this card, so it just fits kind of wedged in between the cards. Very handy, and again, these things are all about kind of what can you carry that has very little weight and bulk penalty, so things like that work really well with this format. Another card here which I haven't managed to get a digital version of is my National Trust membership card, and some cash, which is obviously always handy to have for when the various smart technologies fail you. That's everything, and we're left with this tiny super lightweight pouch, which is absolutely fantastic and just holds all of this as if it was made to measure. There is actually a little bit more volume there. I'd love to hear some suggestions from you guys in the comments, what I could actually fit in that space. There is definitely a little bit of unused volume in there. So in addition to that bit driver kit that I keep in my right pocket, I've got these other 4 tools which I kind of use for this augmentation philosophy, so super fast access. They're just used basically all day, every day to increase my physical abilities. So if you want to learn more about that kit, check this video out next, and I'll see you there.